What the? Draven, what's happening? J-Man, what's wrong?
seen Dad.
No bending in the wood.
Phew. What? No,
Water weighs heavy.
Okay, I was gonna say. I washed your hat.
Like I'm checking under there after a while.
Yeah, you are.
The water in the tub. You ever tried to lift a bucket of water?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's heavy, right?
Heavier than
Humans.
So you're not gonna shower, Laura?
So what do you think at the end there?
That's cool. I like that. I don't know what to make. I want to shower.
Oh, that post doesn't look beefy enough, though. I gotta work on that.
My cherry blossom stairs. And you're like, where does this lead to?
Here, look. See that? It looks protected. Yeah.
Where does that lead to? If you go that way,
What?
these two lights right here.
Oh, that's to like a cave.
Oh.
We could. There are some resources in there. Here, look. I show you. I didn't cover it because we can use it later. See? Look. See that? Do you see? It's underneath all of our stuff. I'm not even hungry. I think I overate.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm good.
Overate pizza?
Oh, that's kidding me.
This is your fourth meal.
I can light it up down here.
She got in the tub and she's like, I need a pee. So I made her dry
What?
and go across to the other side and go use the bathroom.
Oh no, the toilet should be fine now.
Yeah, I said just use it, but she didn't want to chance it, so she went across the house to use her.
Okay.
Paul said he went to the bathroom.
Yeah.
They're crazy.
Um. Let's see.
Huh? Yes, please.
Did the toilet look okay? Cool.
There was something in there though, like white. I don't know if it's white. It wasn't toilet paper because toilet paper.
Where and where?
In the toilet. I don't know if somebody was wiped and put them in the toilet bowl. It's not flush, but there was like a square white. I don't know if it's paper towel or wipes, but I'm like, I don't think.
I think Paul went to the bathroom. He said he did. He probably left wipes in there. I don't know. My mom.
Yeah.
That's what my mom used.
Your mom and sister, I know that, and we've always had plumbing issues that happen. We have because of that.
Wow, look at this cavern. Seems like someone mined in here already. Hey.
So we timed it, and it took 10 minutes to fill the cup.
10 minutes. Oh my God. Is that a lot of water?
Water wasn't fully on full blast.
Yeah.
It was like a medium, maybe on full half. We're walking out the door, and you guys will see if you guys lived on that side of the house. You can always use the tub whenever you want. Haha, nice try, Liz.
She just doesn't want to be alone up there. Which I understand. But yeah. Okay, that area can be mind more if someone wants. I gotta figure out how to do this rope thing. I have an idea, but it might be a big project to really pop this bridge off. Put a river underneath. I think that's water over there. What do you think, guys? Should we put a river underneath? Carve this all out. Comment yes or no. Eh.
Does messages show up on the side?
Yeah, but
Is anyone watching?
no, definitely not. Ooh, honey, can you do extra bacon bits? I'll have some in a little dish. Let's see. Cancel. Exit. Flood watch continues till Monday. Come on, call it. You can't go in. Oh my God, right when I put on the weather, it started raining. No, here. What the? Got jokes. Algorithm.
Sounds that we're seeing off the almost Gold Coast of Hawaii Island. We're seeing a lot
There
of
is
lightning
water right
embedded in
there.
this storm. The National Weather Service actually tagged this with a marine weather warning, saying a water spout was possible. Some of the velocity data was hinting at earlier that there was some rotation in the system. We've also had this thunderstorm that's been off of Hana, starting to move closer to just offshore. We're also seeing some heavier rainfall down over near Haleakala and some pop-up showers and downpours over central Maui. Hoping we continue to see this as we're going into late tonight, because central Maui definitely needs the rainfall. A few sprinkles over parts of Molokai. We did have a downpour and thunderstorm over eastern Oahu, but it started to move on to the southeast and is still falling apart. This has been kind of the story with a lot of the activity over the last couple of hours. The instability in the atmosphere is starting to decrease across the state, but we're still tracking some moisture that's just to the north of us. A weak boundary is going to continue shifting further southward throughout late tonight, which could bring some downpours out there. So the National Weather Service still has the flood watch up. Not much up over Kauai right now, but again, we're really not seeing the full picture out there with the Kauai radar only showing to the south. Can't see this band of moisture that's been moving off towards the southwest. So we're going to be babysitting the radar all night long. You can see this pack of downpours out here with a little bit of lightning out of it that's continuing to move off to the southeast. But again, as the instability continues to fall apart out there, we're going to continue to watch a lot of these cells fall apart throughout this evening into early Monday morning. The flood watch again lasts until 6 a.m. on Monday morning. And a lot of these thunderstorms have been able to get going today because of the light wind. You can see sea breezes out there, so air is rushing in from the sea towards the land in all directions, allowing some pop-up showers out there, pop-up downpours, kind of like we're seeing out there right now. The concern, again, with the saturated ground, that we could be seeing some flooding over areas that saw a lot of rainfall. Parts of Windward, Oahu saw closer to 24 to 25 inches of rainfall on Saturday. So lots of concern out there, just being cautious with our forecast. Here's what we're tracking. Again, the flood watch continues through 6 a.m. on Monday. Isolated thunderstorms are possible. Also, a high surf warning for most north and east facing shores. Lots of alerts. Let's just get into that. Again, flood watch up for Niihau, Kauai, Oahu, Molokai, Lanai, Maui, and Ho'olave. This does not include the Big Island for right now, and will continue until tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. Coastal waters seeing a small craft advisory, pretty choppy out there for most coastal waters, except for the coastal waters surrounding Lanai, southwest of Maui, south of Molokai, and also to the south and southwest of the Big Island. Seas anywhere between 11 to 16 feet. We're going to be seeing breezer trades throughout the next couple of days, gradually building back in. Also, a large northeasterly swell building in. An ice surf warning has been issued for the northwest-facing shores of Hawaii, Oahu, the north-facing shores of Molokai, and Maui, and the north and northeast-facing shores of Hawaii Island. You can also see ice surf advisories out there as a smaller northwest swell moves in, but we're mostly watching this large northeast swell because it could cause some surges in the harbors. Also, high wind warning up until 6 a.m. on Monday for the summits of Mauna Loa and Mauna Kea. Again, I've said there's a lot of alerts out there. We're just watching a lot of colors out there on our first alert forecast. Here again is that marine weather statement. This area in white because of the northeast swell between 10 to 30 degrees. Hazardous conditions and heavy surges in north facing harbors. So, Hawaii and Kilo Harbor could see some surges out there. And again, with that cell that I was saying, rotation possible, the watch is possible. That's where we're seeing a special marine warning from the National Weather Service. I want to run through this before we get into the rest of the forecast because this is our rainfall photos from yesterday, February 21st, 2022. Heavy rainfall moving over parts of the state. Again, showing your all the way up to 7 inches is that purple color. Again, some areas, local areas are seeing much higher rainfall total. So this is just extrapolated data from data for the partners and Hawaii resident. Very grateful for them to allow us to use this data. Let's just zoom in. Hawaii Island didn't see much, but again, it's likely getting blown out by just how high rainfall totals were in parts of the state. On us, some heavy rainfall, closer to 6 to 7 inches in this area right here. Purple, again, this is extrapolated out. And Windward, Oahu saw the most rainfall up there. You can see Kaneohe saw closer to 7 inches in spots. Again, some areas saw closer to 25 inches of rainfall in some localized measuring stations. This continues all the way out across the entirety of the Kopalau Mountain Range. And again, we're seeing some rainfall out there that was in town, but it's likely getting blown out by the dynamic legend that we're using. Also similar to the windward parts of Hawaii. All right, breaking down the overall weather forecast as we're going into late tonight. I want to break down what exactly is happening. Heavy rainfall still possible late tonight. We're seeing the heaviest rainfall just to the north of us right now. Conditions are going to be improving throughout the day Monday. Again, the flood watch lasts until 6 a.m. on Monday. Isolated thunderstorms throughout this afternoon and into this evening. They've been slow moving and developed along the sea breezes, like I was showing you. Light winds out there rushing in towards the land, hitting the mountains, pushing air upwards, causing those pop-up downpours out there. Very instability driven. The instability, I'll show you, is on the decline, and more moisture is going to be moving in late tonight. Could lead to some flooding already saturated. So that's the main message. We're going to see really saturated areas like Windward and Brooklyn. When you have saturated ground like that, you just need some really fast flow with additional rainfall. So we're watching pretty closely. And Tracy is really going to get over sitting around throughout Tuesday and Wednesday. Lighter next Friday, that was a good Thursday and Friday. I'll show you everything my surface pressure chart. Again, we've got this small hang around this aspect of this rainfall there.
USA.
He said, I came here with one purpose, and it was to share.
Hair or dress? Jeez.
meetings. After months of negotiations, we have been given permission to film inside the prison.
Hello.
The prison houses 900 inmates, all men, ranging from common offenders to murderers. The management has established some terms. We are not allowed to film the doors or question the guards in front of the inmates. And above all, we are not allowed to address the prisoners. At the end of filming, only 2 of them will be able to answer our questions, in the presence of the guards. Over the course of 2 days, we will discover the Japanese prison world. From a Western perspective, it is a disciplinary.
Wow. Draven, where's the spray bottle? They're jumping on and around it now. Draven, pulled it here. Pull that thing over so I don't squirt those. Yeah. And the poster board.
Inside, we are struck
Just
by
move
the
it out of the
silence,
way.
by the impeccable order. Even the sandals are lined up in front of the cells. In the morning, the prisoners are woken up by the guard's shouts, but also by classical music. In some cells, 6 men.
Yeah, our prison system's out of control.
Cells, reserved for the best behaved prisoners. Here there is no prison overcrowding like in European countries, and no unsanitary conditions either. The building is modern and perfectly clean, but the prisoners' lives are regulated
You're not going to
precisely
jail.
the millimeter. Every move is timed. They have exactly 1 hour to eat breakfast, brush their teeth and shave, everyone at the same time. And then the entire cell has to be cleaned thoroughly. Everything has to be put in exactly the right place. The guards check that everything is in order.
布団の畳み方などですけれども、折り目がすべて同じ方向に向いているように畳ませます。これは全部畳み方も全部決まっています。で、布団を畳んでいる位置です。位置も決まっています。で、机の位置、こういったものも決まっていますから、定められた位置にちゃんと置かれているのか、畳まれているのかということもチェックします。
If prisoners break a rule, they receive a warning. If they persist, they are punished.
懲罰の種類というものは全く同じで、その単独室の中に、彼らを収容して、そこで反省を促す、作業もなし、そこで、反省をしなさいということで、そこで座って、ただ反省を促すというような懲罰を。Like this is Isabel Avila.
The punishment can last between 1 and 60 days in solitary confinement with no activities, no television, no reading.
Insane.
For the prison staff, this is not bullying. It's just a Japanese view of order, where everything is organized according to the group, not the individual. a world apart. It is this prison regime that Carlos Ghosn would have faced if convicted, and that he wanted to escape at all costs. How does such a particular judicial system work? Though simply strict in the eyes of the Japanese, to foreigners who are arrested, it may seem inhumane.
D'un côté, j'étais en train de policier, et un autre, c'est une scène de sécurité. J'ai aussi une corde autour de la taille.
Investigations often rely on confessions, which can lead to miscarriages of justice.
もう連れて行かれて狭い部屋で窓もない何にもない部屋で前に刑事と横に刑事がいてそしてもうお前がやったんだろうって思いっきり犯人扱い
一つで言えばもう拷問と等しいような手段をやれと言われたことありますよね。
This love of order is rooted in the country's culture, where discipline and rules are paramount.
You do that sound like people talking? No, you don't, because they're not talking.
Standards, reinforced by the people, who go as far as celebrating their prison system.
刑務所大好き。逮捕された時の。Yeah.
Why would you create a fiesta in a prison? It's a prison.
Japan has one of the lowest crime rates in the world. The number of prisoners is proportionally 4 times lower than in France. Today, the prisons are emptying out, and the prison population is aging. This system is sometimes incomprehensible to Westerners, but the Japanese did not tolerate Carlos Ghosn's refusal to abide by it. This is an investigation into the heart of a machine that, though effective, can break lives. On the 8th of January, the eyes of the world turned to the Lebanese capital, Beirut. After 14 months in prison and then under house arrest, Carlos Ghosn is about to give a press conference following his impressive escape from Japan. There's a lot of excitement. All the media are invited, except the Japanese, who stay at the door.
東京から今朝着いたんですけど、ね、いろいろ質問しようかなと思ってゴーンさんに来たんですけど、なかなか結構保釈の条件で海外に行っちゃいけないっていうのが一つの条件だったで、彼はそれも破ってるで、裁判に自分は出てちゃんと無罪を証明するっていう彼は約束をしてるんです日本で。でその彼の約束も破ってるので、まあ、残念な気持ちではあります。
Inside the press union, Carlos Ghosn makes his entrance under flashes. He's the boss, and he wants to show it. He organizes the order of questions himself.
Let's go ahead. Our first slide, as much as possible. We are in Lebanon. First question, Lebanon.
Today, he intends to tell the truth. In November 2018, he was arrested in Tokyo for concealing income and embezzlement. We're talking in the tens of millions of euros. Carlos Ghosn answers point by point, but his favorite defense is to attack the Japanese justice system.
I did not escape justice. I fled injustice and persecution, political persecution. Having endured more than 400 days of inhumane treatment in a system designed to break me and unwilling to provide me even minimal justice, I was left with no other choice but to protect myself and my family.
In the front row, his wife, Carol, is loving it. She too attacks the country that locked him up.
I mean, look, these snowballs are annoying now.
A few days later, we travelled 10,000 kilometers to Japan, the land of Mount Fuji. At the Ministry of Justice in Tokyo, another press conference was held, much more confidential.
Oh, can we?
There are a few cameras, and a lot of computers, but no foreign TV. The minister of this democratic country makes no secret of her anger towards the world's most notorious fugitive.
He's an iron door.
逃亡について正当化するために、
Where?
世界に対して、我が国の司法制度について、虚偽の事実を申し述べて、検伝をしていることでありますので、法務大臣としては、
This will burn. Can't be wood.
重ねて申し上げますが、我が国の司法制度
Cannot
は
be wood.
人権を保障し、適正な手続きが規定されており、適正に運用されております。
One man's word against another's. Japan defends its system, which is certainly civil, but which bears fruit. Its goal, zero crime and zero tolerance. Order and discipline.
Order. Order.
We'll discover this when we go back to the Nagano prison. The prisoner's day is planned down to the minute.
Smart.
At 7:50 a.m., the inmates leave for work.
How do you open that?
Shaved heads, in uniform, they march in step.
It's right there. The redstone torch?
Can you come help Daddy?
David.
Then they have to give their numbers.
Redstone torch?
Use a lever.
Oh, where's that?
Okay, so
Work is compulsory for everyone, but unpaid. It is an integral part of the prisoner's sentence.
生活目標、体調管理をし、節度ある固定生活を送ろう。
Don't start, Alora.
Oh, we already
Yeah, what?
Before starting work, they do a workout for 3 minutes. The entire life in the prison is organized around several factories of 50 inmates each.
Where?
Yeah. Yeah.
Cushions and shoes are made there to go on to be sold. Prisoners will receive a small allowance on their release. According to the management, work is necessary for rehabilitation.
社会の寛容性だとか、そういうようなものを作業を通じて学ん
Good
で
idea.
いきますし、また作業を通じて働くことの喜び、こういったものを彼らに学ばせることができるということで、やはり作業というものはその刑務所の中の生活というのに必要不可欠なものというふうに考えています。
Prisoners are not allowed to talk to each other during working hours. Again, this would be an inconceivable rule elsewhere. In order to be allowed to say a few words to each other, they must ask permission by raising their hands.
Nice.
At mealtime, the guard carefully checks the portions. They must be exactly the same. Except for the rice, where the amount depends on the activity carried out. Right after lunch, the inmates are given a short break. They can read the newspaper or cut their nails. They can even talk. Then comes the best part of their day, leisure time. Prisoners have time reserved for entertainment every day except weekends. Again, they go there marching in step. The guard walks backwards to keep a close eye on the line. Inmates have precisely 40 minutes to relax, but first they have to warm up, just like at work. Then they hurry to make the most of it. They can play ping pong, or board games. There is even a little TV for karaoke. The break is soon over. It's time to go back to work, which lasts 8 hours a day. It's time for us to interview a prisoner. A 27-year-old man is
Working.
brought
The
to us.
snow is
The interview takes place in an office, in the presence of two
kind of staying
wardens.
that way.
He was sentenced to 3 years in prison for theft. He has a year and a half to go. Despite the presence of the guards, he dares to speak out.
やっぱり会話ができないっていうのは正直ちょっと、苦しいところかなっていうのは、それで喋ったからといって、確かに悪巧みをしてるとかいろいろ勘ぐられちゃうとは思うんですけども、厳しくするところってそこなのかなっていうのがちょっと自分なりに疑問に思ってるところです。懲役受刑者っていうよりはちょっとした軍隊みたいな感じにちょっと一瞬思います。
In the evening, inmates are encouraged to study. At 7 p.m. sharp, the TV turns on. They can watch it until 9 p.m. Then, lights out. The Japanese have been used to discipline since childhood, but for foreign inmates, it's hard to take.
Right?
Another Frenchman has a traumatic experience in the Japanese prison system. He has inside experience of the way inmates are treated. Marc Carpeles is 35 years old. He has a mild form of Asperger's syndrome. He's also a computer genius.
Isn't that what?
He was locked up for 11 months, but he decided to stay in Japan after his release.
3名です。そうないです。はい。
A good meal, a pleasure he forgot while he was incarcerated.
J'ai perdu 35 kilos au commissariat et j'ai repris 5 kilos au centre de pension. C'était complètement méconnaissable en sortant du commissariat. Le plus dur, c'est vraiment d'attendre et d'être seul, de rien avoir à faire et de ne rien pouvoir faire. T'es dans une cellule de 6 mètres carrés. Et être là, assis, et attendre, et attendre, et attendre. Ce qui est dur, c'est non seulement de rien avoir à faire, mais c'est aussi de ne pas savoir quand ça va se finir.
His case is a huge scandal in Japan. It starts in 2014. Mark Karpeles made his fortune in Bitcoin, cryptocurrency. But when his company goes bankrupt, he has to apologize publicly to an audience of journalists. Soon it is discovered that millions of euros disappeared, and he is accused of stealing the money. The nightmare begins.
Ça, c'est le 1er août à 6h41 du matin. C'est le moment où en fait, les policiers sortent de chez moi avec mon oublieux. À ce moment-là, c'est assez compliqué parce que d'un côté, j'étais entouré de policiers, il y en a deux qui me tiennent de chaque côté. J'avais aussi une corde autour de la taille qui était un policier derrière moi. Ils ont assisté à ce que j'ai une casquette sur la tête. Dans la tradition japonaise, c'est on arrête les cons, on lui cache le visage.
Mark Karpeles spends 4 months in custody. Then he is transferred to Kosuge prison, where Carlos Ghosn was locked up. To prove that the prisoners were being treated well, the authorities opened their doors to journalists last year. There too, everything is clean and tidy. But according to Mark Karpeles, it's not the decor that drives you
No,
crazy.
not that little
It's rules.
boy.
In Kosuge, the prisoners are awaiting trial. They don't work, and they're in solitary confinement.
Moi, il faut être assis au bon endroit, de la bonne façon. Il n'y a que deux façons qui sont autorisées, soit à la japonaise, soit en tailleur. À la japonaise, c'est la façon de se poser comme ça. Donc on a notre petite table ici. Et en tailleur, évidemment, bon, là, d'ailleurs, on peut se mettre comme ça. Pas le droit de parler, pas le droit de siffler ou de faire quoi que ce soit. Pas le droit de taper sur les murs, de faire de la musique ou quoi que ce soit. Juste le droit donc, de rester là, d'être assis, de lire ou d'écrire. Il y a un moment, j'ai pété les plombs, j'ai donné un coup de poing contre la porte. Les gardes sont arrivés en renfort par une unité de quinzaine de gardes. Et je me suis retrouvé ficelé et transporté dans les cellules de comment dire. Ils ont une cellule spéciale.
What?
It's an empty padded cell where he spends 4 hours tied up. Then he is punished for 4 days. No more books or writing materials. Finally, after nearly a year behind bars, he is tried, declared innocent of embezzlement, and released. But he is given a suspended sentence on another minor charge. Officially, he remains a guilty man. These conditions of detention do not seem to bother the Japanese. On the contrary, the prison administration is proud of its prisons. It even promotes the most severe of them, the famous Kosuge prison. With its impressive X-shaped architecture, the building is colossal. It's the last place you'd think of going for fun.
Right. 2?
And yet, once a year, the authorities organize a huge festival there. In the public space surrounding it, there are 10,000 people celebrating, just a few meters from the cells. On stage, a Japanese pop star. All day long, one show follows another. Then, visitors head to the stands set up for the occasion. Here, people can have their picture taken with a prison guard's cap.
逮捕された時の。イエーイ。刑務所大好き。
On stage, law enforcement officers are showing how effectively they stop the bad guys. But the highlight of the festival is when visitors taste the dish typically served to Japanese prisoners, curry and rice. People have to wait an hour to receive their tray.
Is that what it says? Prison?
It's worth it.
美味しいです。多分大量にいっぱい作ってるから美味しくできる。
Visitors are in no doubt the prisoners are treated well.
思ってるより中入ったらいいんじゃないかなと思いますよね。だってご飯食べれるでしょ。
わ。
あれでしょ？スモーキングがダメなのとアルコールがダメなのがある。それに違ってきてる？で、くるくる入れる。
Well-fed prisoners, efficient police officers, and friendly guards. The festival presents an ideal prison system. Only one person is shocked by this PR exercise. We asked Thomas Sapicus to come with us. This Lithuanian man spent 6 months inside the prison for attempting to kidnap his own daughter. In Japan, in divorce cases, foreign parents are systematically deprived of children.
Why would you create a fiesta in a prison? It's a prison. What kind of brainwashing is actually happening in here is just mind-boggling. You see around, little children enjoying the day out. It's like a park. Does it look like a park? Any kind of human rights violations is happening right there.
He's not fooled. He knows this prison.
No, it's way, way better. It's almost restaurant-grade curry. And believe me, in there, they do not give you this kind of curry.
The public are not here to worry about the fate of the prisoners. At the following stands, products made from prisoners from all over Japan are sold. Leather goods, furniture, and in particular, comfortable and slightly retro shoes.
オートメーションの機械作りじゃないんで、それを考えると、それなりの値段かなっていうふうには思いますけど。
Again, Thomas can't believe it.
冬にここは暖房がついてないが施設なので、こんないっぱいお金があるので、なんでか暖房がついてない。
暖房がね、それは、これは本部があって、もっと話になったんですけど、本部がありまして。
He says he's never seen any of that money. No matter how outraged Thomas is, the party goes on. A concert by female students in suits. Free candy floss for the children. The prison system is not about to change. But there is another aspect of the treatment of detainees that is criticised by lawyers and many NGOs, the policy of confessions. In Japan it is called If the accused deny the accusation, their custody can be
Look, almost fell in that.
They are questioned intensely
What the
until they
hell?
confess.
What is that?
This is what happened to businessman Carlos Ghosn. He was arrested on the 19th of November 2018, just after landing at Tokyo Airport. In this footage, which has travelled around the world, a team of prosecutors are conducting a search of his private jet. Out of sight. Carlos Ghosn does not reappear until 2 months later, during a court appearance for a bail application. Television cameras are not allowed to film
Kevin.
it. The stern-looking president denies his request. After 108 days of detention, he is finally released for the first time. Here he is coming out of prison, hidden under a mask. disguised as a worker on the advice of his lawyer to fool journalists. It's an attempt that deceives no one. The press follows him as he plans to hold a major press conference on the 11th of April 2019. He learns that he will be arrested again on new charges. This is the method of prosecutors. Split up the charges to allow the period of custody to be extended, sometimes for months. So Carlos Ghosn records a video.
The first message is I'm innocent. I spent 108 days in prison because I've been always consistent with this position that I was innocent of all the charges.
The next day it's back to prison for another 22 days, a system of going back and forth in detention with the sole purpose of breaking the accused. This obsession with confessions can destroy lives.
Get off your bed.
This is the story of Keiko Aoki.
Baby.
Every week she comes to put flowers where she lost a child in a house fire. Keiko managed to save her son from the fire, but not her daughter, who was 11 years old.
Here, how's that look? Or solid?
20年っていう空白があって、それからはなんかここに来たら娘に会えるようなそういう思いで。
Keiko spent 21 years in prison. She came out at the age of 51. Along with her partner, she was
Why'd she go to jail?
The fire to kill her daughter and collect the insurance money.
Oh,
娘が生まれた時にアルバムとしてこれ刺繍をしてもらって、私これ友達の結婚式、成人式は行ってないから友達の結婚式で振り袖着たんです。これは学校小学校の学級写真みたいな。
Right after the fire, the police refused to believe it was an accident. For them, the cause is undoubtedly criminal. They look for a culprit at all costs and start harassing Keiko. Her daughter has just died, and she has to undergo interrogation.
そうやってひどいことを言ってるかなって言ったら急に優しくなるんです。でも娘に悪いと思わないのか、娘に謝らなあかんやろと、そういうことを言われるわけですよ。そうしてるなとかなんかこうね、お前の認めたくない気持ちはわかるぞってこうそんなことまで言われてなあって言われても私はもう疲れてうなずいたんです。
To the police, it's a confession. It's based on this that Keiko will be convicted. But in prison, she decides to fight. With the help of lawyers and human rights associations, she gets an appeal. A miracle. In Japan, miscarriages of justice are rarely recognized.
これが本当に実際にあったプロがママで作ったから無罪が証明できた。本当やけどないない。今見てもらった通り、私の人形が出て119番にしてた時に実験だったら私は焼けてしまってる。でも私は全く手がもうやけどもない。これは8月2016年の8月10日に無罪判決をもらって、それで出てきて皆さんの支援者の前に出てきて挨拶無罪になりましたっていうお礼を言ってるところですね。隣にいるのが弁護士女性。皆さんのおかげで裁判所から真っ白な判決をいただきました。ありがとうございました。
The state recognized their mistake and compensated Keiko Aoki. €750,000 for a ruined life.
Did you like the tub?
Keiko is no exception. She's not just a victim of the zealous police officer. It's an entire justice system based on confessions. This is confirmed by Hiroshi Ichikawa, former prosecutor who was taught how to extract confessions.
So, honey, I have a. Well, you don't have to
これですね、
help, but I have
千枚通しって分厚い書類を
a
取れる時
big
に
project I'm gonna do
穴を開けて、でそこに紐を
to
通して
add to
書類
this
を閉じる。
bridge.
こういうの警察庁には多分今もあるんじゃないですか。千枚通しというんです。特に外国人の被疑者には人権なんかねえんだってこう目の前に突きつけるとか、あるいは本当のことを言わない被疑者は
I gotta get high, I'll show you.
要するに一口で言えばもう拷問と等しいような手段をやれと言われたことありますよ。なので、まあ、大きな声で怒鳴るとか、バカ野郎とか、この野郎とか罵倒するのは当たり前だと。
As in the Keiko case, if suspects break down, they are beyond all hope.
Okay,
Here, about
look.
90% of convictions are based on confessions. Considered the ultimate
I started
criminal
here
despite the risk of miscarriages of justice.
from this
The
water.
risk that is all the more
I'm
serious
gonna
due to the fact that Japan is one of the few democracies
put a
still
big
carrying out
river
the death
underneath
penalty.
going into here.
One man by himself embodies all the aspects of the system.
It doesn't have to be
Aged
all over
84,
here, but
Iwao
from
Hakamada
here
spent half of his life on death row for
to
murders
there,
he did
yeah.
not commit. Since his release in 2014, he has been walking every day for 3 to 4 hours. He's a local
Get a lot of
celebrity.
shovels. Whoa, look at that.
By Mashiko, a woman who has taken a liking to
Yeah, I
him.
am cutting a path
He came
already.
out of the prison a broken man after decades of solitary confinement. He doesn't say a word. Totally shut off from the rest of the world. Mashiko accompanies him home. She's trying to make his old age easier for him.
クリームつけてくださいっておっしゃる。クリームつけてくださいっておっしゃるのが、マッサージしてくださいっていうことなんですよ。とっても気持ちいい顔されて、すぐに眠られます。長いこと一人でいたので、人のこのぬくもりも忘れました。溶かしたいなと思って。
Iwao Hakamada has been living with his sister since his release. She has kept some happy souvenirs of her brother from when he was a professional boxer.
何をした時の写真ですね。
And then the heartbreaking letters he sent from prison.
私のことで親類縁者にまで心配かけてすみません。山根味噌の事件には真実関係ありません。私はシロです。私は今落ち着いて裁判を待っています。
But his trial goes badly. Forced to confess, burdened by fabricated police evidence, he is sentenced to death. He holds out, but then something breaks him.
隣の部屋の人が処刑された。ね、その時にはまたクスッと出てきて、昨日処刑になった。それがショックだった。
In the months that follow, he becomes overwhelmed. He is finally released after 48 years in prison when DNA tests prove his innocence. We met a man who knows better than anyone else the trauma of death row inmates. Toshio Sakamoto, the former prison warden. He has witnessed many executions.
これは死刑場、これが板を切った。このように、これがロープをつなげる滑車ですね、天井。これは隣の方で、このスイッチを押すと、フリーターが落ちると。で、3つあるのは、どのスイッチがつながってたかわかんないように、3人のポイントに押させると。
The convicts face an additional form of torture. They spend an average of 7 years on death row and don't know when they will be hanged.
Wow, they still do hang.
30分、1時間前にしか試験の出航はわからない。一人と離れて、どこ行きますか、行きますかっていうぐらいのそうする。で、廊下で待っていて、 それから、部分を見て
No time to say goodbye to their loved ones, condemned prisoners and led to the gallows. Last November, an event revives the debate on the death penalty. For the first time in 38 years, the Pope is visiting the Japanese archipelago, which is home to 1.5 million Christians. Hakamada is one of the Vatican's VIP guests. He disappears in the midst of an exotic crowd as the Pope enters the arena. He is photographed next to his sister in the front rows. His presence alone is a strong signal against the death penalty. The Pope slips in a sentence for the innuendo.
La comunidad cristiana
Alandre,
somos invitados a proteger toda vida. Alguien, por haberse equivocado, por estar enfermo o en una prisión, no es digno de amor.
These words might not be enough
The
to abolish
storm.
the death penalty. 80% of
Storm, that's
Japanese
why.
people support executions. Last year, 15 convicts were executed. More than 100 people are still on death row. How can such a judicial system be explained? It responds to a philosophy rooted in the culture of the country. Order and harmony are cardinal virtues that everyone must respect. This is what Jake Adelstein, an American journalist who has been based in Japan for 30 years, will show us.
It works organically well, right? When the lights are turning red, you don't see, like people scrambling across anymore. Everybody kind of knows that, okay, time to wait for the next light. People are very quiet. Now, is there a rule? Is there a discipline? Is there is it like China where there's a spy camera watching you and you get points deducted from your social credit because you're speaking on the train? No. People just obey the rules because that's what they do here. And that's what you're taught from the time you're a child.
And in Japan, there are rules for everything.
Rules make Japanese society work. Cigarette smoking, except in designated areas, is now banned in most parts of the city. That's a great thing. There is an unwritten rule that you're not supposed to eat and walk at the same time. Now that isn't enforced, that's just how it is. Also drinking and drinking and walking at the same time are forbidden. Japan is a country that constantly likes to warn you about things you shouldn't do. This one is like, no playing on the escalators, no baby cars on the escalators. Parents hold the hands of kids when they're on the escalators. Don't wave your hands up and down on the escalators. Your phone.
It's on the metro that these standards, internalized by the Japanese, are felt the most.
Yeah, right. Well, the thing that's striking is that really annoying people because they're talking on the train and nobody ever talks on the train. Listen, you hear that sound? People talking? No, you don't. Because they're not talking. It's one of the things I like about Japan. And even before cell phones, nobody was talking. Everybody's on the train. Japan places a great deal of emphasis on harmony. And in some ways, the criminal courts expect the accused to harmonize with that system and just go along with it, even if they're not guilty. And when people say like, no, I didn't do it, sort of the audacity of you to challenge the entire system with this one individual is almost like, well, you deserve whatever you get because you're a troublemaker.
It's a love of order on which the country was built. Human relations are based on a respect for hierarchy and social norms. And if the Japanese forget them, their neighbors are there to remind them. It's 8 p.m. in the Kabukicho district of Tokyo. Every 2 or 3 days, volunteers of a respectable age meet in a former police station. The only weapons on this little patrol are glow sticks and fluorescent vests.
ショッピングストリートを守るために、特にお客さんを、悪い人から守るために、また事故のないように、危ない。今大事なのは、こういうところに、タバコをこう投げます。こう投げる。そうすると、ここから火事が。それでこっちから伝わります。これもダメです。すいません。ここはお酒禁止ですから。いや、だからダメです。ね。はい。これ警察の取り締まりになっちゃいますから。いいですか？
フランスの
日本で放送したらいいです。
これなら放送してます。これならいいんですけど、日本で放送されると、ちょっとまずいなと。
Kazuo is a retired policeman. Like his colleagues, he takes his role very seriously.
今、あれですよ、60年間、出てきてるパラダイスから、今変なんだよ、実は。みんな連れてくるのはね、ジャパニーズアゲンストなの。ノートピックローダー。
Kazuo writes down the number plate to send to the police, but he doesn't intervene when the driver arrives. His role is just to inform the police and issue warnings, with the bonus of a moral lesson.
ダメだこれ。みんなお前こうしてるのが見てるね。火がついてるばっかだこれ。何がじゃないよ。俺見てよ、火ついてる。足にこれが歩いてるんだから。我々みたいに注意しかれば、少しは考える。だからそういう人がいないとダメなんです。ご意見番みたいなことしたらね、70歳になる。我々なんか見せた後何でもないから、笑ってる本当ですね。誰がそう言ってる人がいないとダメ。日本はダメなんです。
An hour and a dozen warnings later, the patrol is over. Groups like this exist in every city in the country. Is it this way of life that makes crime rates so low? In any case, crime is decreasing year after year. But it is increasing in one part of the population, the elderly. Some old Japanese people prefer prison to solitude. We're going to the southwest of Japan, to Iwakuni, famous for its American base. Its historic wooden bridge, and its women's prison. Japan is getting older, and so are the inmates. Here, 1 in 3 prisoners is over 65. Some of them are 85 years old. Like the others, they work 8 hours a day.
Okay.
The only difference is that they are given back their walkers when they leave the factory. It is sad to see these old ladies bent over in the cold of the prison. With no heating, just 2 to 3 showers a week, This is far from a luxury retirement home. Still, some prisoners seem relieved to be behind bars. This 70-year-old woman is on her fourth stint for shoplifting. Outside, like many old Japanese people, she was alone and let herself go. You can't help but wonder if she got locked up on purpose. The guards have had to adapt to this new population. It is a sensitive issue. The guard we talked to has prepared his response.
高齢化に伴って、日常生活を自力で、できない者に対しては、介護とか日常生活の世話、などを刑務官等が行わざるを得ず、特に症状が進行すると、歩行や、食事の補助、排泄の処理も必要になってきますため、集団ではなく個別の対応が求められます。
Most of these inmates are here for petty theft, stealing food, shoes, or handbags. In 20 years, crimes committed by senior citizens have increased fourfold in Japan. In an attempt to curb the phenomenon, the prison has set up a rehabilitation course. The program includes workouts and advice on how to stay in shape. And in particular, amazing training to learn how to take care of babies. The objective is to help these old women find their place in society when they are released, and therefore prevent them from reoffending.
なんで自分には子供がないから産んでないから。
All of Japan's misery in one image. In a few years, maybe, these will be the last prisoners. Old people, alone, with no choice. Elsewhere, prisons are emptying. It is difficult for a Westerner to understand this way of life based on order and discipline. But the Ghon affair illustrates something else. It's also difficult for the Japanese to understand why a man who has promised to answer for his actions before the law preferred to flee and not respect the rules.
Who are you playing with, Laura? Oh. Hi, Kevin. Does he play builds or zero build? Oh, yeah. Gotta finish her playing with Kevin. He plays zero builds. Okay, look. See, honey? The water's frozen, which is kind of nice. It's holding it back. So it lets me know I'm a layer down, yeah. So what I'll do is just carve here, see? I just carve at an angle. See? So I'll just keep carving this way. You see that? And it doesn't have to be from there to there. Just like right in the middle. And then we go all the way across, diagonal into here. And then fill this. This is naturally down here, so we can fill that. And yeah, that'll look nice. We could do a little like boardwalk thing with the cherry blossoms by the water. I don't know. With some rowboats. We can make a rowboat.
Gondola.
Do they make those? That would be neat. Alright, I'm gonna end it here. The bridge is pretty much done. I need to, although I have to get the wiring down. I know. Well, we did kind of have fun today.